Today we're making an artichoke puree with Parmesan cheese and some butter and milk. And to that we're having some chicken and asparagus. And this dish clocks in at 596 calories per portion, 54 grams of proteins, 18 grams of carbs and 33 grams of fat. And handling artichokes can seem tricky. If you've ever tried and just get all of these tiny little stringy things all over your kitchen, we're gonna make this a bit easier. So we're just gonna cut the top off, and they can be quite hard, so be careful that you don't cut your fingers. And you can see now we've actually cut away some of those stringy things that just fall off. Those we don't want to eat. That's what make you choke if you try. So we're also gonna cut off the bottom, and we've added a piece of lemon to our water because they can turn brown fairly quick once they're open. So we're just gonna take our knife and cut this with an angle so we got all of those hard green bits off. And we're gonna do this all the way around, and this means that it's gonna be much easier to get that core that we don't want to eat off later on. You can see a small part of this looks quite bad, but that's not gonna be a problem. We're gonna fix that later on and remove that part later. So just make sure you've gotten all of those hard green bits because we don't want to use them. Even though you can eat them, they're gonna be quite hard. And we're gonna do this for 4 artichokes. They're roughly 400 grams together. And then we're gonna bring that to a boil, let that boil until they're soft, and that's gonna take roughly 20 minutes, sort of like potatoes. So to this we're gonna need 60 grams of butter. And by the way, this is for 2 people, so 2 portions. And then we're also gonna go for 40 grams of Parmesan cheese. And the Parmesan cheese is gonna stand out a bit, so if you don't want it to taste too much cheese, you can lower that until like 20 or 30 grams. And to this we're gonna have inner chicken fillet, and that has that white stringy bit that's very rubbery to chew on, so we're just gonna cut that off. Put a frying pan on our stove and get that quite hot. And as you can see, our artichokes are boiling away, and I'm also adding some cooking spray to that. We're gonna salt our chicken as always, and once our frying pan is hot, all we need to do is just put our chicken in, salt the other side, and leave them until they got a nice browning on one side. Once they've turned a bit golden brown on one side, we're gonna flip them and then just leave them to fry on that. And to know when our chicken is done, you can see that they're actually starting to become moist on the other side, and that means that they're almost 68 degrees is where I like to remove them. So that's what I like to go for when they're almost done. So for our artichokes, they're soft now, so you can pierce them with a cake tester. We're gonna cut them in half, and then we're gonna take another little knife and we can just cut along just below the line for all of those hairy stringy things. And that means since they're wet now and not dry and get all over the place, if you cut them, they're just gonna go and fall right off. So actually peeling them when they're boiled is fairly easy and very quick. And we can do this while our chicken is roasting, and it's not gonna take long at all. So we're gonna do this for all 4. Then we're gonna add our butter, our cheese. Then we're gonna take the half of the lemon that we had left and squeeze the juice from that in there as well. And we're also adding 75 grams of milk and some salt and pepper. And then all you need to do is put this in your blender and run it for like half a minute, and it's gonna be super smooth if you have a good blender. Asparagus, boil that for 2 or 3 minutes. And I started by adding 50 grams of milk, and everything got a little stuck in the blender. So just adding that last 25 grams and shaking it a bit means that everything starts blending again, and we will get our nice puree. And this is it. Just check the seasoning level, and if you're good to go, you only need to do is just put that on a plate, add your chicken and your asparagus, and you're good to go. If you like artichoke and cheese, this is something you should try. So, if you like artichoke and Parmesan, I hope you try this, and if you do, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.